चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सह गणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरोभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रिय द्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you to the next session of Journey through Bhagavad Gita. So we have completed till chapter number 2, verse number 14, and today we'll be starting from verse number 15. So let me share my screen. So just a quick revision of what we discussed in the last session, because in last week we could not have a session. I was traveling, and although I've heard about the poor condition of Bangalore traffic, first time I realized it. So the class could not happen last week. Anyway, so in the last verse, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha Aghamo Apaino Nityashtam Titikshasya Bharataha. So Krishna is actually talking about how to tolerate the dualities of life. We heard about how the same water, as per the commentary of Baldev Vidyabhushan, which was taken by Srila Prabhupada, the same water which is very friendly and very lovely in summers is like a great enemy in winters. But it is not that we should stop taking bath, because one has to perform dharmic duties. That is why Sri Krishna says that this duality, that I'll be happy, I won't be happy, I'll become sad, this will happen, that will happen. The counter opposite terms, the dualities of distress, sadness, heat, and coldness. So Krishna is saying just rise above from these dualities. And what you have to do? Titikshasa. You have to tolerate. And by tolerate does not mean that you have to leave your dharma. As a Kshatriya, you have to follow your dharma also. So from today, we have to two more things. Krishna was calling Arjuna as Kaunteya and Bharata, both two words. Matra Sparshas Kaunteya and Tam Titikshasva Bharata. So why Kaunteya and Bharata? So Krishna is actually telling that you are a dharmic person, and both your mother side and father side are Kshatriyas, and you have a very great heritage. So you don't have to run away from your duties. So Kaunteya means Kunti Maharani. She is also from Ashatrani, coming from a very nice heritage, carrying a very nice heritage. And Bharat, so he is Bharat Vamshi also, a very great lineage of warriors, greatly kings, saintly kings also. So Krishna is talking about the mother side and father side both. So you don't have to risk it. You don't have to become a beggar. All you have to do is follow your dharmic duties. Actually, today I was hearing His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj. So he narrated a very nice story. He said even Arjun, who is talking about, oh, I'll go to forest and beg alms, and whether I live without fighting. So he said that Krishna was actually telling that you cannot leave your swabhav. Actually, it is very difficult to leave your swabhav. For example, Maharaj Dhruv, at the age of 5, just when Narad Maharaj met him in the forest, he said, "Aho Kshatriya Bala." Look at this prowess of this Kshatriya. No, he's a 5-year-old kid. अभी कुछ संस्कार भी नहीं हुआ, उपनयन भी नहीं हुआ, गुरुकुल भी नहीं गए. Still Kshatriya, because his behavior was that of a Kshatriya. So similarly, here Arjun is a Kshatriya. He cannot run away from his duties. So there was a time when in Mahabharata, when Karna was Pradhana Senapati, at that time, Karna actually attacked Maharaj Yudhishthir, and Maharaj Yudhishthir was very badly injured. So he was rushed to his camp. And at that time, Arjun just got a message that Maharaj Yudhishthir is hurt. But he did not knew the entire story that it was Karn who actually attacked Maharaj Yudhishthir. So what happened? As soon as Arjun entered the camp of Maharaj Yudhishthir was completely injured. Blood was oozing from his injuries, and he almost swooned multiple times. Swoon matlab behosh हुए थे. And as soon as he saw Arjun, he said, "Oh Arjun, you did a very nice job killing Karna for me. Look what he did to me. By killing Karna, now you have satisfied me." बहुत अच्छा किया तुमने कर्ण को मार दिया है अर्जुन. अर्जुन को अब समझ में आया कि अच्छा कर्ण ने मारा है इन भैया को. So immediately, he did not say immediately. After some time, when things were little stable, Arjun said, "My dear brother, I did not kill Karna, but definitely I promise you that tomorrow Karna will not see the sunset." Just listening to this word, Yudhishthir Maharaj became very angry. He said, "क्या तुम कैसे क्षत्रिय हो? You better do one thing, throw this Gandiv, remove it from your shoulder. This Gandiv, you are not capable enough to wield the Gandiv." So what happened? Arjun immediately took his sword, and Lord Krishna held his hand and said, "ये क्या करने जा रहे हो?" So he said, "Oh Krishna, you know everything." Now this is after hearing complete Bhagavad Gita. Now you see, Arjun just drew his sword and he was ready to kill Yudhishthir. Why? Because he took a vow. And that vow was, anyone who will speak against my Gandiv, that I am not capable enough to wield the Gandiv, or like I'm not capable enough, or the Gandiv is much more powerful for meant for someone else. So that person will be killed by me. Very, very sure. That is my vow. सो कृष्णा सेड, तो अर्जुन का मारना पड़ेगा भाई, भैया को मारना पड़ेगा, उसने मेरा ईगो, मतलब मैं क्षत्रिय हूँ ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया, बट आई हैव टू थ्रो माय गांडीव अवे. सो भगवान कृष्ण सेड, बाबा, हाउ कैन यू किल योर ब्रदर, यू आर फाइटिंग फॉर दिस ओनली. सो युधिष्ठिर महाराज ऑल्सो गॉट शॉक्ड, अरे ये तो मारने आ रहा है मेरा भाई मेरे को, इतना सा बोला, इतना गुस्सा हो गया, बस गांडी फेंकने को तो बोला ना. तो व्हाट हैपेंड, लॉर्ड कृष्णा गेव अ सजेशन. ही सेड, एज पर धर्म शास्त्र, if you do ninda of someone superior to you, he can be an elder or someone stronger than you, if that ninda is like killing them. So Arjun said, okay, I'll start doing ninda. And then Arjun started criticizing Yudhishthir like anything. ए तुम जुआरी हो, और तुम्हारी वजह से ही सब कुछ हुआ, तुमने मुझे दांव पे लगाया, यू गॉट gambled Draupadi also, you were the main reason why we were quite there, we could have done so much. Your dharma, so-called dharma stand, made us fight so many bloody wars, and because of you, when we went to Vanavas, you are not a Kshatriya, you are a Brahman. Now, to call a Kshatriya Brahman is actually an abuse. As per Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when Narad Muni, he gave a proposition to Dhruv that he remain tolerant. Whatever Arjun told to Krishna, that same bhav, not exact words, but that same bhav of not fighting, better going to forest and relaxing, don't be worried upon man and apaman, same was given by Narad Muni to Dhruv also in fourth canto, है ना, eighth chapter. So what happened? Seventh or eighth chapter, you can check it out. Ninth is the when Dhruv Maharaj says the beautiful prayers. So what happened? Dhruv Maharaj said, these statements of surrender are meant for coward Brahmanas, not for a Kshatriya like me. If you have a solution from me, then give me. Otherwise, You are happy, you are pujaniya, please just step out of my way. Now, this is Kshatriya bhav. So, Krishna is actually trying to say that you cannot leave your swabhav so easily. So, what happened? Arjun was doing ninda. To call a Brahmana, to call a Kshatriya Brahmana is actually an abuse because Brahmana is Shanta, Shilaha, Shamadamaha, Shaucham, Arjavam, he's Astikyam, Jnanam, Vijnanam. He is very peaceful in his states, completely engaged in his purificatory activities, pleasing the Lord, not desiring for any kind of wars. But a Kshatriya is very different. A Kshatriya is someone who will immediately take challenges. He will never back down from challenge. For example, Roop Kaviraj, there was a very great debater. He came to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. I want to debate with you in Tattva Siddhanta, Brahma Sutra Jnana. Rupa Goswami said, see, we are not here to do this kind of debate, silly debates. We don't have time for this. Said, okay, if you accept debate, sign my paper. So Rupa Goswami immediately said, this is proper Brahman. Actually, Rupa Goswami is Vaishnava, 1,000 times better than a Brahman. But still, the quality, he is not wasting time. So he did not get agitated by this challenge. But a Kshatriya will immediately do a challenge, accept a challenge. Even if there is no chance of challenge, he'll create a challenge. So Arjun did a great ninda to Yudhishthir. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj died. Not exactly literally died. In consciousness, he was like, "Itna bura bola mere bhai ne." So he was like, "मैं मर गया." And Arjun also felt that I actually killed because this tongue, na, it is very dangerous. So this has to be controlled. Spirituality begins from tongue only, actually. You have to control your tongue, speech and food, both things. So after this, Arjun kept his sword inside and again tried to pull it out. Then Krishna again held the hand and said, Are, now what? He said, I have done such an great offense by killing Yudhishthir Maharaj by just words. So I'll just kill myself. Now Krishna is saying, Abhi ek cheez ko bachaya, now one more problem. So he said, you do one thing as per Dharma Shastra. If you glorify yourself, that is also is equal to death. Suicide. Now I have to commit suicide, so you do suicide. Then Arjun started glorifying himself. Hey, I was the one who even satisfied Lord Shiva, got the Pashupata Astra, and I was the one who was sitting next to Indra on his throne. I went to Swarg in this very same body. I was the one who was so much, such a powerful brahmacharya that I was able to say no to the Apsaras of Swarga. I defeated this. I defeated this. Won the Virata Yuddha also. I was the best disciple of Dronacharya. You know, someone who is not glorified by anyone is very much eager to glorify himself, which is equal to suicide. Actually, glorifying yourself is like removing great punyas away from your stockpile. So, after saying this, Arjun felt that I have committed suicide. So, why I told this story? Because this story is all about you cannot leave your swabhav so easily. One has to be engaged as per the swabhav. Okay. So, verse number 15. So, last one we discussed already. Verse number 15. I hope this is visible to you.
Prabhuji, not only the top part of it's visible, like we can't see the screen. It's
Is it
just like
so?
a box.
This is interesting. Okay. How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for pointing out. Okay. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता अध्याय 2 श्लोक संख्या 15 यम हीना व्यथायन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ सम दुःख सुखम धीरम सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते दिस line saha amritattvaya kalpate. If you hear the lecture of Srila Prabhupada, it's very big explanation of just this line. Because we are all eternals, we are completely souls, but we are mrita. We don't have the idea how to live this life because we are in the very wrong ignorance conception. Okay. So, yam hi na vyathantyete. Like for who is never distressed. Because someone who is distressed, what he should do? He should tolerate. Tam titikshvasa, he should tolerate. And one who is tolerating, what will happen? Purusham Purusharshabha. To that person who is Purusha Rishabha, that is best among men. That means one who tolerates the dualities of life. What will happen to that? Yam he, to that, he means for sure. What will happen? Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. He will completely be dhira. That means he completely be patient in what? Dukha, sukha, and he'll be unaltered. Sama, equipoised. And ultimately, what will happen? Saha, that person will attain liberation. Amrit Tattvaya. He will get Amrit. Amrita means he will never die. That means he will cross the ocean of nescience. Okay, Mika, can you read the translation? It's a very simple one. Mika?
Oh, okay, Pooji. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Um, oh, best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not distributed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation.
Very good. Now we have to read in Varnashram, the fourth stage of life, this part from
In the
here.
Varnashrama institution, the fourth stage of life, namely the renounced order sannyas, is a painstaking situation. But one who is serious about making his life perfect surely adopts the sannyas order of life in spite of all difficulties. The difficulties usually arise from having to severe family relationships to give up the connection of wife and children. But if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. Similarly, in Arjuna's discharge of duties as a Kshatriya, he was advised to persevere even if it is difficult to fight with his family members or similarly beloved persons. Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24, and his dependents, young wife, as well as old mother, had no one else to look after them. Yet for a higher cause he took sannyas and was steady in the discharge of higher duties. That is the way of achieving liberation from material bondage.
It's a very hard hitting part. And the best part is the difficulty usually arises from having a severe family relationships. Now, here the line talks about the material attachment to the family members. If you have a spiritual attachment, center is Krishna. See, naturally, if you are in this material world, you will have attachment. That is why you are in this material world. But the purpose of that attachment should not be based upon some material ambitions. This is what I wanted to say. This is what Prabhupada is actually saying. Best part, if you want to get away from this material life, all you have to do is tolerate, tolerate, tolerate. As soon as you stop tolerating, your mind will kill you. See, it is not that uh, problems won't be there in the life of a brahmachari, sannyasi, or a vanaprasthi. It is not that only grahasthas are facing the problems. No. See, my health also goes down. I got chicken pox recently. So, what I could do instead of tolerating, है ना? I could pray to Krishna. I could read the books. I could not even go to Mangal Aarti. I could wake up at Mangal Aarti but could not go to Mangal Aarti. That was the worst part. Attend Mangal Aarti from laptop. So difficult. है ना? Very tough time. Anyway, so one has to tolerate. There is no other option. The reason why people complain is because they don't tolerate. If you see, the problem with complain is, I'll show you one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's see. Be ready for this very hard hitting statement from Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 1. Oh, let me share my screen. Stop. So, this is canto number 1. It would be 16. Suchakasya. This verse I have to. Suchakasya. 23. Maybe next chapter. So, when Parikshit Maharaj he encountered the bull. Suchakasya. Yes, got it. So what happened? A few verses back, Parikshit Maharaj was roaming in his kingdom like a very generous king, one who has lots of responsibilities. See, why one complains and what happened when you complain. So this is the principle of Srimad Bhagavatam. This will completely change your understanding about life. And you might feel ki in spirituality it is all about becoming weak. This will be the conclusion at some moment. But you have to understand something. The higher purpose is hidden. So what happened that there was a bull who was getting beaten up by a very dark Shudra king. And I was not supposed to be a king, who was acting as a king. So he was beating the bull, and three of the legs of the bull was already broken up. Only the bull was struggling with just one leg. And there was a cow. She was shedding her tears. She was crying, seeing the state of the bull. When Parikshit Maharaj came, protected the bull, he asked, Dad, who are you? See, why would someone ask, who are you to a bull? But because it is a divine exchange, so Parikshit Maharaj asked, who are you? Now the bull did not set his real identity. Parikshit Maharaj asked, who is the cause of your distress, this current condition where you are struggling so much? The bull did not say the name of the that Shudra king who was just beating him. See, it was very much visible that who was beating, but still he did not. So what happened? Then Suta Goswami said something very nice. This was a test actually. He said, Evam dharme pravadati sa samrat tuja sattamaha sammahitena manasa dikhedah paryachashtatam. He said, O best among the Brahmanas, Emperor Parikshit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak was fully satisfied, and without mistake or regret he gave his reply. That means the bull said something which indicated that this is not a normal bull. He is the personality of religion, Dharma himself in the form of bull. And the cow is none other than Mother Earth. So Parikshit Maharaj said, Rajo Vacha, Dharmam Pravishi Dharmagnya, Dharmo Shevrisha Rupadrik, Yada Dharma Krita Sthanam, Suchakasya Vitad Bhaved. It's a very difficult word to digest, especially the last line. Parikshit Maharaj said, Dharmam Pravishi Dharmagnya. Are Baba, you are Dharmagnya. Dharmagnya, one who knows religion. And Dharmam Pravishi, you are speaking like a religion. So you are none other than personality of religion. Dharmo Shivrisha Rupatrik. You are the personality of religion, but you have taken the disguise of a bull. Very simple. What? Yad adharma krita sthanam. That whoever is acting as an adharmi, suchakasyapi tad bhavet. Even if you tell about it, the identifier of that adharmi also becomes adharmi. This is very difficult to digest. For example, if someone is doing adharma and you became a radio broadcasting channel telling others, देखो देखो वो अधर्म कर रहा है, वो अधर्म कर रहा है, देखो वो अधर्म कर रहा है, अधर्म कर रहा है. You are also becoming an adharmi. सूचकस्यापि तद भवेत्. It's very difficult to digest. ये समझ में आने वाला नहीं है. So what I was trying to say in this condition, why the dualities are not tolerable, because we are all and all just about complaining. इसने ये किया, that person did that, ये वो. Arjun was also doing the same thing. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Suchakasyapi tad bhavet. You will also become adharma krita. One who is doing adharma, even if you complain, you will also become that. Now the question comes, should we never complain? Then it would be a great problem. How the life without complaint is like no rust. Material world is without rust. If you don't complain, the complaint should have the intention of uplifting the consciousness of the person. No other intention of complaint should be there. Once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was questioned by His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. He asked, Maharaj, should we chastise the devotees very hard? The reply was, yes, but make sure they are uplifted by your chastisement. It should not be that you chastise someone, डांट लगा दी और सामने वाला भक्ति ही छोड़ दिया. It's not the way to chastise. Obviously, the person who is in the receiver end of the chastisement, if he is having very low consciousness, he will not grow also. But that is the part of the guru actually. He will understand that okay, इसको डांटने से कोई मतलब नहीं है, जो कर रहा है करने दो. Let him do what he wants. That person will also not grow. We should not think that I am getting chastised. So this person who is chastising me, he does not know the principles of religion. No, I am in such a low consciousness that that person is not even chastising me, and we are thinking everything is good, good, good. Because that person does not want to point out your faults because you are not ready to accept it. So fault is not our purpose. It is on our side. Suchakasyapi tad bhavet. To give correction is also very difficult. Yes, many students some are here also. They ask, प्रभु जी कुछ हमसे गलत हो रहा हो तो बता दो बता दो. क्यों बताएं भाई? If you are not ready to accept the right correction, I am not here to identify those mistakes also. Why would I become the perpetrator of that same mistake which you are doing? So you have to be very good in etiquettes, very, very strict in following principles of religion, very, very good in following your sadhana which is given by your gurus, Gurujanas. And in that prayerful mood, you have to seek guidance from your elders. It is not like that you just one time Hari Parshad Prabhu also told one of the students because he was like प्रभु जी ये वाले श्लोक का प्रमाण बता दीजिए इसका ये बता दीजिए वो no, it's not the way. It has to be very properly. Hari Parshad Prabhu is a great personality. So even to approach your elders, like if I approach Amok Leela Prabhu, I immediately won't go, प्रभु जी समझ नहीं आ रहा बता दो. Never. We'll find the right time, right place, right etiquette, right cause, and then with that intention of learning, never challenging it. Tat vidhi pranipatena, you'll get that in chapter 4. And then we'll ask the question. If one follows this method of sadharma pricha, because you'll hear in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu sadharma pricha, but how to do this sadharma pricha? It's completely based upon Vaishnava etiquettes. So when you do sadharma pricha in right process, then you'll get the complete answer, even answer beyond your imagination. Otherwise, your Gurujanas will simply say, no, 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 just chant, just chant. No, no, just chant. Chant your rounds strictly, chant attentively, associate with devotees. The same answer. See, answer is not wrong. Chanting is the solution, association is the solution, but that solution won't work on you because you are not ready to accept the answer from the Gurujanas. The consciousness is so low. So there should be a very right mood, very right intention. For example, if I go to Amog Leela Prabhu or Bhakti Paramaswara Pracharak Swami Maharaj, even to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, it is not that I will just immediately go. I've also done mistakes. I'm not very dharmatma, very clear. So I was also given proper teachings from right elders at right time. That was my fortune. I can say that. So I will find the right time. See if Maharaj is not busy. Maharaj is 100 times busy than any one of us. So we'll just ask Maharaj, if you allow, there is one jigyasa in my heart. It is bothering me for some time and it is related to my services in this area. Maharaj, if you allow, can I ask some doubt, Maharaj, please? Because your now there should be some glorification also, Maharaj, because your answer will definitely put you know very cool water on this burning desire. So then Maharaj like, you ask. And when you do this, even before getting the answer, you are satisfied. This is the culture. Culture khatam ho raha hai. If you forget the culture, nothing is it. Have you seen any question answer done in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu Puran, Brahma Sutra, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita without etiquettes? None. There is no such example. There will be Krishna Katha before Krishna Katha, within question Krishna Katha, after question Krishna Katha, after the answer. Krishna will be everywhere. But see, there is not even right attitude to even speak to Guru. Forget about selecting Guru. Not how to speak to a Guru. So you all have to learn this. That then only you will be able to face these dualities. मेरे साथ ये हो गया, उसके साथ ऐसा हो गया, ऐसा हो गया, वैसा हो गया, वैसा हो गया. There is a system in Madhurya Kadamni about Anisthit Bhajan Kriya. This is not Madhurya Kadamni lecture, but you have to understand why. Because if I don't explain this duality, which we all are facing, then what is the like? How can we proceed to Bhakti Yoga in Bhagavad Gita? है ना? Because we all are facing these dualities. मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम अच्छा है पर उठने का मन नहीं करता. तो डुअलिटी है ना. Spirituality is good for us, but I don't want to do it. I want to associate with devotees. Parents are not allowing. Dualities will be everywhere. I want to read Srimad Bhagavatam, but as soon as I read 2 3 pages, there is pain in my eyes. Everywhere you will find obstructions. But are we here to just complain only? Or are we here to do something also? If we don't realize why Gauranga Mahaprabhu came, if we don't realize why Srila Prabhupada came for us, more specific for me, why he suffered those 2 heart attacks for me, if we don't get this realization very quickly, then bhakti is very distant. Or that once we have this kind of realization, why acharyas have done so much, why our elders are putting so much troubles, just because my elder, I saw some weakness in my elder, one of my elders. That does not mean that elder is not at all capable enough to do bhakti. This is our eyesight issue. Suchakasyapi tad bhave. And we start taking this example and put it to that person. Every person is having individual, confidential, and unique relationship with Krishna. Please write this down. Every individual has unique, confidential, and individual relationship with Krishna. There is a very nice poem by Indradumna Swami Maharaj. I will share that in group later. So in that poem, the main gist was that when I went to Golok, the Indradumna Swami Maharaj is saying that I went to Golok, I saw that the person who did so many Vaishnava Aparadh is also there. I saw that the person who slept in chanting was also there. I saw that the person who never came to Bhagavatam was also there. Like Maharaj counted so many things. And when I went to Golok, everyone was wondering how come he is here. Why? Because we don't know by what act of Anshuman Prabhu or what act of Shan Gopinath Das, what act of Hemu Mataji, what act of Amit Prabhu, Krishna will get pleased. It is individual, it is confidential, and it is unique. Neither I can explain this to you, neither you can explain to someone else, or anyone can explain to me. It is very confidential relation that you have to obviously pray for it, develop it, work on it. Then only it will be work. Okay. So you have to fight this duality of life, otherwise it won't work. Okay. Now we'll read the commentary of Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. It's a very interesting one. Yam hina vasanti yate purusham purushadabha. Okay. Let's see. It's a very elaborate commentary by Madhusudan Saraswati ji also. Anyway, small commentary by Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also. एवं विचारेण तत्तत् सहनाभ्यासे सति एव विषयानुभावः काले किल नापि दुह्यन्तीति यदि च न दुह्यन्ति तदात्म मुक्ति स्व प्रत्याशने एवेति अहम यम इति अमृतत्वाय मोक्षाय. So he is very clearly saying that the experience, है ना, the experience of the senses of objects by the passage of time, it will not give distress, because in previous verse, what was talked about, that one should be tolerate to, but to tolerate towards what? The dualities of life. And one who tolerates, then in due course of time, it is not that immediately, oh, I will tolerate. No, no. In a due course of time, because here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Kale kile napi dukhyanti. In due course of time, the dukh coming from that duality won't be there a lot. For example, waking up in the morning is very difficult for many people. But if you tolerate the demand of sleep, see, if you are sick, if you slept at 1 or 2 a.m., exceptions, it's not daily you are sleeping at 1 a.m. By kind of exception, some service, some travel. Like before Nirjala Ekadashi, even I slept at 1 a.m. Very difficult it was to wake up at 4:15 and then somehow I went to Mangal Aarti. Anyway, so some exceptions are there, but you have to try it out. If it doesn't work, okay, have some regret, then do better next time. But in some due course of time, if you just tolerate, then this pain of tolerating, because there is a lot of pain in tolerating, है ना? Dukh. See, already in winters, taking bath from cold water is very painstaking. And Prabhupada is also saying that taking sannyas is also a painstaking process. But if one prepares himself for sannyas, okay, that is a very crude example. One, he prepares himself very nicely for taking bath in the morning with cold water. Then at some part of time in near or distant future, this pain of cold water bath in winters won't be much troublesome. This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. And he also says, Yadi chana dukhyanti tadatma mukti. That means when a person reaches a certain state where there is no distress, because this distress is not just from the mind, this is the distress from the senses, indriya api, this is from senses. So when a person reaches a state when there is no distress from the objects of senses, then that person is sa amritatvaya kalpate. For that person, attainment of liberation is like close at hand. है ना? He can attain that amrita tattva. This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. Now, if I read the commentary of Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu also, it's very small. We'll read it. Dharmartha dukha sahanabhyasa hyotartra sukha hetutvam darshayana hayam hi iti. Okay, very simple. In this verse, what Lord is saying that the tolerance of suffering for the sake of what? Performing some dharma. This gives some kind of happiness. You know, people who wake up early are elders. हमारे दादा दादी लोग अपने आप naturally they would wake up near to the time of Mangal Aarti or Nishant Kal. There was no distress. Now tell me, currently at current times, people have either one child or two child, very hardly three children, grahsthas. Earlier they would have 15, 20, 30, 40 children. Yet they were able to feed them properly, give them nice sanskar also. Everyone would be going to school also, and they would get them easily married also. A distress would be there, but not as now today's. अभी सबकी आंखों में इधर काला हो गया है और इतना काम कर रहे हैं, पागल हुए जा रहे हैं, लेकिन एक दो बच्चा नहीं संभाला जा रहा है. So main thing is the faith on Krishna is not there anyway. So earlier times, the people who are doing dharma. So Krishna is saying actually, Baldev Bhushan Prabhu is saying that one who tolerates the dualities and follows dharma, there is natural happiness. There is a natural state of happiness. What else is saying? Ete matra sparshaha priya apriya vishayanubhava yam dhiram dhyam. अच्छा ईर्यति धर्मेषु इति व्युत्पत्तेर धर्मनिष्ठम पुरुषम वा व्यथयन्ति सुख दुख मूर्छितम नागुर्वन्ति सो अमृताय मुख्यते कल्पते. So what he's saying that there is a word dhira here, na? That means dhira. That person is having intelligence. Intelligence in what? In the matters of practicing dharma. Then what happens when this matra sparsha, matras, these senses are called matras, tan matras. So when whether the sensation of the senses is favorable, for example, cold water in winters, it is unfavorable, but cold water in summers is favorable. So whenever the sensation of from the senses, matra sparshas, either it is favorable or unfavorable, it does not means that that person who is fixed in dharma, he'll go into some kind of delusion of happiness and suffering. Na vyathanyanti. He will not go there. That person becomes fit for liberation. So here, Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu is taking the angle of dharma. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was saying very clearly that just tolerate, anyone who tolerates, he is eligible for liberation. Very simple. But because in the last verse, the dharma angle was brought in, like one should not, this the example was given that although the cold water is not favorable in winters, that does not mean one should not take bath, because Dharma Shastra says one should take bath. This was the last commentary, if you all can recall. I am able to recall. So why we should take bath? Because Dharma Shastra says so, and because Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and as per Dharma Shastra, he should fight, so you should fight. So does not mean that while tolerating, you will just change your swabhav and you will not do anything. No, there is a good advantage. That person is fit for liberation. Whereas sukha dukkham, one who is not, one who is disturbed. Now he is taking the positive part. Vyathanti sukha dukkham murchitam na kurvanti swamritvaya mukyate kalpate. One who, like two negatives make one positive, na? So that person who is disturbed by happiness and distress is not fit for liberation. Na, na. Very simple. The opposite term he's saying. Now to make things clear, he's saying न तु तादृशो दुःख सुख मूर्छिता इति अर्थः उक्तम अर्थम स्फुटयम पुरुषम विषयनति समेति धर्मशतकस्थ सद्या दुःखम अनुसंग लब्धम सुखम च यस्य समम भवति अच्छा तभ्याम मुख म्लानितोल्लास रहितम इति अर्थः नाउ इज टॉकिंग अबाउट सम उल्लास व्हाट इज सेइंग दैट देयर इज अ फर्दर डिस्क्रिप्शन अबाउट इट देयर इज अ पर्सन हु इज परफॉर्मिंग हिज धर्म है ना नाउ because there are various obstacles in performing his duties, but yet he is unmoved, achala. He is completely fixed up. And also, when he is attaining happiness by the results, whether he is not attaining happiness, still he is doing the duty. That person is never disgusted. Disgusted by what? The difficulties of practicing that process. Instead, that process, he is not even jubilant. That, oh, okay. Amoglila Prabhu gives an example that nowadays people, when they are very happy, then when they are very sad, no, when they are very happy, I have to say it in a right statement, and as it is. So I'll say it in Hindi. So प्रभु जी कहते हैं कि when they are very happy, बहुत खुश होते हैं ना जब, तो आप शैंपेन की बोतल खोलते और इसके बाद ये और जब दुख होते हैं तो वही शैंपेन उसी के नीचे बैठ के पीते रहते हैं तो not so much jubilant in happiness, neither so much morose in sadness. If one is able to tolerate such problems, dualities, and following the dharma makes the process also relishable. है ना? There was one question asked to His Holiness Bhaktipada Saurabh Prasad Swami Maharaj. He said, Maharaj, ये अच्छा नहीं लगता, बड़ा कठिन है. This bhakti process is very difficult. So Maharaj said, छोड़ दो. He was shocked. नहीं छोड़ नहीं सकते. महाराज क्यों नहीं छोड़ सकते? क्यों नहीं छोड़ सकते बता? This is the reason we cannot leave. Krishna will not make us leave. He's a transcendental, jealous, autocrat lover. Is what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said. Transcendental, jealous, autocrat lover. He'll never let you leave. So this is Krishna. So all we have to do is tolerate, 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 tolerate. No complaints. Complaints will never bring any kind of happiness. Only when the complaint is made by the sense of having a consciousness to uplift that person, then only the complaint is fine. Otherwise, the complaint is only because of either envy or anger or maybe any other reason. And Bhagavatam says, the line ratlo, Suchakasyapi tad bhaved, adharma kritaha Suchakasyapi tad bhaved. Anyone who gives suchana or even identifies the perpetrator of adharma is also identified as adharma. This is very hard statement from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so we discussed the verse number 15 in great detail by the commentaries of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad and Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhuji and Srila Prabhupada, obviously, who's our Moola Acharya in ISKCON. And we understood about the dualities of life. We understood that it is very difficult to leave the Swabhava part also. And we revised the previous verse as well. So I'll just put a pause to my speech here and take blessings from all the speakers, all the listeners who are here. who will be very great speakers in the future. I hope so. And whatever you are learning, you have to discuss with Suhrid Vaishnavas so that you can get more relishable content out of those equal Vaishnavas. And if you have any kind of doubt, I may be in your service. Whatever faults are there, all belongs to me, and whatever good you have heard from me, all belongs to my Guru Janas. Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Yeah.
Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhu, we are open for question answers. I
Thank
have
you.
time.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. Dear devotees, I am requesting you, if you have any questions or any realization, please raise your hands and ask Prabhuji.
No very hard class.
But yeah,
So no
that
more no more
you
complaints.
no more complaints. That Yudhishthir and Arjun संवाद which आपने जो शुरू में बताया प्रभु जी, that is very first time we are hearing, because हमें तो ये था कि अर्जुन is the मतलब युधिष्ठिर तो उनके लिए, युधिष्ठिर महाराज के लिए तो अर्जुन प्राण देने को तैयार थे, तो आपने जो वो बताई शुरू में, तो दैट इज लाइक वी नेवर न्यू, दैट इज वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम आई हर्ड एट लीस्ट.
Mahabharat. It comes in Mahabharat.
Okay.
I read it also
Okay.
in two of the books, those 18 days along with Mahabharat, and I heard it from His Holiness Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj also.
Okay.
I heard it today itself only, in the
Okay.
flight itself.
Good. Yeah.
And because Maharaj was explaining the Swabhav of Narad Muni from first
So
canto,
wow.
fifth chapter.
Yeah.
And while explaining that Swabhav, he went to Mahabharat and he
Oh,
immediately explained that it is very difficult. That same Arjun who was ready to take the act of begging as a proper profession was ready to kill his brother just because
very
ego hurt was Kshatriya ka. So
well.
Kshatriyas are like this only.
Right, right, right. Mihika?
Oh, we have question. Okay.
Yeah. Mihika and Anshuman Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for the very nectarian class. And Prabhuji, my question is from like the story that you told in the beginning of Yudhishthira and Arjuna. So my question is like how Krishna said that if you like do ninda to the other person, that's basically killing them. But if you do it to yourself, then it's the same. If you glorify yourself, that's
Glorification.
the same thing as killing yourself. So I didn't
Yes.
understand how that made sense. How does glorifying yourself kill yourself?
See, one person who is not glorified by anyone, is the only person who is seeking attention. I must be glorified. You must see. See, just just think of an example. You are sitting in a group of like 5, 10 friends, and there is one person who has done a good job, but is completely boasting about himself. Now you tell me, would among those 10 people, the 9 people would be very much eager to add into that glorification, or would they avoid it?
Avoid it.
That's okay. So you are getting lost in that sangha itself, and you are still very much proud enough to say good things about myself. मैंने ये किया, वो किया, वो किया. It is actually equal to suicide. You leave everyone. You are only alone in your own room. You are the king of your own thoughts, although you may be a beggar for others. This is a suicide. No one will be with you anymore because आपको अपने की पड़ी है. Selfish, completely selfish person. And
Okay.
obviously, Dharma Shastra says so we have to accept it.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Glorification for others, constructive criticism for self. This one should do. One should not criticize oneself like मैं तो गधा हूँ, मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मेरे से तो माला भी नहीं होती, ये नहीं होता, वो नहीं होता. You'll go into moroseness, you'll be in depression. You don't do that also. Constructive criticism, oh, I have done this wrong. This is not as per Shastras. My Gurujanas are not happy. Because in constructive criticism, you will find the right solution also. You see, a criticism without solution, a complaint without the idea of upliftment is not complaint, is not criticism. It is just envy and anger.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji. And I think we should show this with from our acts. If you are like really distressed or something like that, you should let other people know by their by your actions, not by the words.
Even not by actions. See, what Mataji is like, for example, a wife is very angry. वो किचन में वो बना तो रही है भोग, लेकिन कभी बेलन पटक रही है, रोटी पिला करके ऐसे दे रही है. ठीक है, this is like a sweetness of the married life, but even from actions also, because ultimately you are seeking attention. Something happened to me. Look, me.
Hmm.
I am in the center. See, it is very difficult to digest. I told you, Bhagavatam,
Hmm.
it's not, it is for Rasika Grantha.
Right.
I'll tell you, His Holiness Bhakti Asha Vaishnava Maharaj, before his sannyas, he got an accident, a train accident. He was in a train accident, and his complete skull was broken. If you see Maharaj, you will find a trace of that injury. What Maharaj did at that time, he simply took his chadar, wrapped his head, skull broken. See, blood is oozing out. He just went to the temple, and when the devotees saw, he even told anyone. When the devotees saw, ऐसा नहीं कि फिर महाराज टेम्पल हॉल चले गए दिखाते हुए कि देखो चोट लगा, चक्कर आ रहा है मेरे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Devotees saw, then he was taken to hospital. He did not care. बताने नहीं गए मेरे साथ क्या क्या हुआ है, मैं बताता हूँ. मैं मेरे सुनो. Listen to me. What has happened to me? अरे बाबा, who are you? Or Brahm, not even Brahma of this universe. Are you facing more troubles than Brahma of this universe? Or Indra? Or even the temple president? Such a tuchha jiva. All we have to do is just do some efforts in bhakti. See, when we go into complaint, when we go into self glorification, when we go into attention seeking, one thing will happen. Krishna will be out of that conversation. I think Barsana Mataji is also here. There was one conversation. I told her that, see, this conversation will not lead to any point because I cannot feel Krishna in this conversation. I think I told to Anshuman Prabhu also once, right? Like, Krishna nahi hai is conversation mein. I never even bothered to go continue that conversation. छोड़ दिया मैंने वो conversation. So, if Krishna is not in their conversation, it will never benefit you. Even you are distressed and you are seeking my help also. How will I help if the Krishna is not there in our conversation? Who am I to help? I'm also a very tuchhabadda jiva. I don't have the power to uplift anyone. Krishna has the power. So why if he is not in the conversation, if he is not in the intention, if he is not in the consciousness, no solution. More problems. Okay.
Yes.
Last
Thank you,
question,
Prabhu.
Anshu.
Anshuman Prabhu.
Hello, Santosh. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this amazing class. प्रभु जी, जो स्टार्टिंग में आपने प्रभु जी को बोला ना कि हम अगर किसी को पॉइंट आउट करते हैं तो उसमें हम भी खुद काउंटेड हो जाते हैं एज ए सिनर, अधर्मी.
Can you speak little loud, Prabhu?
हाँ हाँ प्रभु जी. तो स्टार्टिंग
Hmm.
में प्रभु जी आपने जो बोला ना कि अगर हम पॉइंट आउट करते हैं किसी को कि मतलब अधर्म कर रहा है तो हम खुद अधर्मी बन जाते हैं. तो फिर उससे पहले प्रभु जी स्वभाव के बारे में आपने जो बोला कि स्वभाव हम अकॉर्डिंगली स्वभाव हमको करना चाहिए. तो इसलिए अर्जुन वो बोले थे भगवान श्री कृष्ण के तुम मतलब चाह के आज बेगर्स की तरह नहीं रह के अपने खुद के धर्म को पालन करो. तो प्रभु जी हम जब भक्ति में आते हैं ना तो हमारा स्वभाव कुछ थोड़ा मतलब चेंज होके आहिस्ते आहिस्ते चेंज होता है. बट अगर गुरु अगर चास्टाइजमेंट अगर ना करे और तो क्या होता है ना, हम अकॉर्डिंगली कुछ साल तो करते हैं भक्ति अच्छे से, बाद में सब नेगेटिविटी फिर से आ जाता है जो हमारा खुद का नेचर है. तो उसको प्रभु जी साइमल्टेनियसली कैसे बैलेंस करें कि इसको मतलब क्या प्रॉपरली उसको ठीक करना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमको खुद
नहीं,
पता नहीं होता कि नेगेटिव स्वभाव क्या
इस,
होता है इससे.
इसको बैलेंस करना ही नहीं है. There is no such thing to balance this. बैलेंस करने में ही सारा नाश है. Never ever balance this. First understand that I am so not qualified that my guru is not even chastising me. मैं इतना छुई मुई हूँ. We should not see. We should not take the shelter of swabhav as a defense. I said, by our swabhav, our gurujanas should deal with us. So that is the higher consciousness of the gurujanas. But what they are thinking of you for your betterment, even you cannot calculate. है ना? So remain humble, accept their jurisdiction. See, I told you that guru chuno ठोक पीट के. Like you have to select a guru by great scrutiny. But after selecting guru, उसके बाद ठोका पीटी नहीं. उसके बाद नहीं कि ऐसा कैसे वैसा कैसे, तो पहले सोचना था ना गुरु बनाने से पहले, है ना? इवन सेलेक्टिंग योर सीनियर्स ऑल्सो, सी देयर आर थाउजेंड काइंड ऑफ सीनियर्स, but the one who is actually very much cared about your growth, for you should have 4 5 some people like that in your life. They can be seniors or equals, so with them you can reveal your heart and then you can proceed further, but that should be also in a very proper manner. ऐसा ना हो कि सीनियर कुछ बोले जा रहा है, हाँ अपनी धुन में ही लगे हुए हैं, वो नहीं होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी लाइक, अगर हम आए हैं ना, दैट विधि तद विधि इज ऑफ प्रणिपात, is of surrendering. This is the process. You cannot surpass the process. His Holiness हल्दर स्वामी महाराज says, विधि टूटता है इसीलिए अपराध होता है. When the process is broken, there only अपराध comes. Okay. Barsana Mataji, you have asked a question in the chat. I have answered in the chat itself while hearing the question of Anshuman Prabhu. Okay, Anshuman Prabhu. So you have to be very careful in dealings with Vaishnavas. Never ever take any kind of side. है ना? आप भक्ति करने आए हो वो मेन होना चाहिए. कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो, कृष्ण का शरण लेने पहला सोचना. द पर्पस और द पावर टू पुट योर हैंड इन द बीड बैग इन टफ सिचुएशन, वो उसके लिए प्रे करो. और बीड बैग से हम निकलने करके मुक्का मारने का आ जाता है, वो अलग हो जाता है. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट इज वेरी इजी, बट यू हैव टू टेक शेल्टर ऑफ होली नेम. यू हैव टू टेक शेल्टर ऑफ, लाइक, अंडर गाइडेंस ही होना है. There is no independence in bhakti or spirituality. We are not Mayavadis. Ekla, ekka. No. We remain in shelter of devotees. Today I was reading one verse. So I remember the translation. I memorized it eventually, but I'm not like, recalling. So there in Padyavali, Srila Rupa Goswami says, जो कर्म करना चाहते हैं ना उनको कर्म करने दो. All those who want to do ज्ञान, let them do ज्ञान. बट वयम अपि श्री हरिदासम चरणाभिक आख्याम, दैट हम क्या करेंगे, हम हरि के दासों को के जो जूते हैं ना उनको सर पे रख करके ही आगे बढ़ेंगे. हमें कुछ नहीं चाहिए. This is what Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami is saying. Okay, thank you, Amit
Thank you.
Prabhu.
Thank you.
You
Thank you,
can have
Esteban.
your concluding words.
Yes, Prabhu. So I don't see any hands left now. So we can conclude this call. वांछा कल्पवृश्च कृपा सिंधु भैव पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. हिज ग्रेस शांति
Yeah.
प्रभु जी की जय. भगवद गीता की
Thank you
जय.
very much.
ऑल डिवोटीज की जय. हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna.
प्रभु.
Hare.
सी यू नेक्स्ट टाइम.
If there are some questions that you cannot ask in this forum, definitely personally also you can approach me. Everyone knows me.
Yes,
I'll
yes,
try to serve you.
yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.